No shots, no pills, no machines. Pay very close attention to the next 5 minutes, and we can change your life forever. Pain pills are the largest killers of your body, especially your immune system. Use your brain, not your fingers or your wrist, to open a bottle of pills. Pay attention to everything that you see and hear, and you can become a new person. This is myotherapy. Find your trigger points and you will know part of the secrets and puzzles that have kept most of us in the dark regarding pain. Myotherapy Mondays, welcome. This is Laura Lee. I'm a master myotherapist. Myo means muscle and therapy means to heal. And what we do here is help you help yourself. And this topic is muscles. So Laura Lee, me, is offering a mailbag, and I'm going to go ahead and check what's in our mailbag today. And let's see here. This is sticky. All right. It's a little tough to open. Okay, here we go. Dear Laura Lee, I wake up due to foot spasms that hurt so bad I have a hard time managing my sanity. Please help. Nicole from Idaho. Wow. Nicole, yes, myotherapy can help you. And let's see, foot spasm. One of the things you can do is wear footwear. That's decent for your body, not like high heels. These shoes aren't good for you either. I wear these for show, but mostly barefoot is awesome. Touch the planet, that's always good. And make sure that if you have a standing job or anything, that you go ahead and integrate the myotherapy into your lifestyle for sure. So let me explain to you what we can do for foot cramps. Muscles have trigger points in them. When you overuse or injure a muscle, you get these trigger points in them. And they lay latent or sleeping until you become emotionally or physically stressed. So somebody who gets a football injury, breaks his leg in high school, and then 20 years later gets a divorce, and his old football injury comes back. That's because of the emotional stress, lights up the trigger point. The trigger point sends a message to the brain. The brain's always protecting the body, so it sends down spasm, telling stop everything until we deal with this human, and a pain spasm cycle starts. What most people do is they run to the medicine cabinet, or they chill out for days, or don't do their activity, or whatever. But what myotherapy does, or what myotherapists do, is break that pain spasm cycle by getting to the source of the pain, which is the trigger point. So we cut that pain spasm cycle by getting rid of the trigger point. But muscles have memory, so they also forget. So they are going to want to go back because of habit into that spasm state. So this is an active therapy, meaning you give the therapist feedback and you also do some corrective movements throughout the day, 4 times a day. 4 times each is what you do these corrective movements. And breakfast, lunch, dinner, when you go to bed. Something you can space it and remind yourself, because the hardest part about these exercises is to remember to do them. Even though pain is a good motivator, it still happens. So what you want to do is you want to do those corrective movements, which re-educate the muscles through spaced repetition until it gets the idea of where its normal resting state is. Instead of starting from a contracted spot, it's starting from a normal elongated spot, which is really good for athletes, musicians, anybody who's got shortened muscles, to get them to their normal resting state. Instead of starting from a spasm state, as the athlete, for example, you can't stretch as far, so you can't run as fast or do whatever you're doing as well, because you don't have the full range of motion. Anyway, that's another topic, but right now what we're going to be talking about is foot cramps. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab these 2 tools, Nicole, and this is a tool called the Bodo, and this is a tool called the Crook. And then you're going to go to BonniePrudeMyotherapy.com, and they have books that they are selling that have levels to the different myotherapy. But what you can do is you can buy one of these books, and as you can see, each page has a space of where you're going to press to find these trigger points. Now, muscles come in layers, so if a trigger point's on a top layer, it's not going to take too much pressure. If it's on a lower layer, it's going to take more pressure. So on a scale of 1 to 3, the feedback in your mind when you're working on yourself or working on someone else is 1 is just pressure. You don't feel anything. 2 is a sensation. Could feel sharp or hot or hurt so good or dropping a pebble in water. You're on a trigger point. 3 is painful. If the person's tensing up or it's no fun at all, if they say 3, you back off. If you say 1, you press harder till you find that 2. So just get clarity on that. You hold them for 7 seconds. If you're working on someone, you use your elbows, your knuckles, and your thumbs. If you're working on yourself, you use these 2 tools. For example, when you're working on foot pain, you're going to be putting this tool on the wall, and you're just going to be leaning into it. Because we myotherapists use gravity and leverage in order to do the work instead of working against it. We also work with the muscles. We don't ever force it. So when you do the corrective movements, don't ever force yourself. It's not competition. It's re-education. What I'm doing right now is I'm just leaning into the trigger point, and these booklets tell me where to go next. And then after a while, you learn automatically where to go. But as a learning curve, this is basic lines. Without muscle knowledge, you can actually work on yourself. So you don't have to be a muscle head to do myotherapy. So what I'm doing, I'm going along the belt line is what we call it. And then I'm using the spine as a landmark, never pressing on the spine. We're working on the muscles, not the bones. Muscles are stronger than bones. They actually pull the bones out. So if you address the muscles, 9 times out of 10, the bones will go back. A lot easier, or just back on their own. So I only could reach up to here, and just to show you the tool, we're going to be working on the feet, but if you were going up to the upper part of the body, you use this as a leverage tool. And I'm not pulling on it, I'm just pushing up on this side, and it goes right into the trigger point for me. So it's not a lot of work, you're using leverage. So these 2 tools in these books. So let's see, for what we're going to do next, we're going to put the book, we're going to kick off our shoes, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay the wooden dowel down, and we're just going to lay our leg on top of the dowel. And then if you're not getting enough pressure, not finding a trigger point, just lean forward, and that sort of wedges it there. And hold it for 7 seconds, exactly. And then you're going to follow the diagram, which tells you where to go next. So for your calf, you can go ahead and lay it right on top of your the wooden dowel like that, but if you can't because your back hurts or whatever, I'll show you another way of doing that. And then the inside of your leg, so what you're going to do is you're going to put your leg like this, put a pillow underneath your leg if you don't have enough flexibility there. But what's key about the knee is that you're going to want to start below the knee, not above the knee, because that's where a lot of the major muscles attach, is below the knee. And the diagram will show you what to do. You're going to go in slow, hold for 7 seconds, release slowly, and move on to the next trigger point. Giving yourself feedback or making sure the person that you're working with is giving you feedback. Now, for the quadriceps or for the top of the leg muscles or the thigh muscles, what you can do is dangle your legs. That's the easiest way that I found. It sort of relaxes the muscles better. You can use the wooden dowel or the bodo and just do a line. Now, if your muscles are so tight, they're going to slip off. So you go put your thumb and your forefinger and you put like a little nook in there, and then that actually gives you some not slipping off of abilities. So you're following the page and you're holding these for 7 seconds, and then you're moving on to the next trigger point. Okay, so that's the top of the leg, the inside of the leg, now the outside of the leg, and then we also did the hamstring too. The outside of the leg is like a stripe on the side of your pants, for example. You're going to put the wooden dowel on the wall, and you're just going to lean into it. You're going to find the page for this, of course. And then you're just going to go all the way down to your knee, and you're going to be holding these for 7 seconds as you go. These are usually pretty sensitive because they're overused muscles for any athletes, for sure. I worked in Tahoe. I had a clinic for 8 years called the Waldorf Clinics, and I worked on a lot of athletes, from skiers to runners to bike riders to a lot of athletes, sailors. I mean, we had a lot of fun in Tahoe, mountain bike riders. Anyway, so you go down to your knee and turn up. So that's, and then for your calf muscle, if you can't reach it, like I told you, what you can do is you can just use gravity and leverage. And you just go down the calf muscles. It shows you in the book. Turn it on its side like this for your Achilles tendon, and that just feels so wonderful. Okay, so now what your key point is for your feet. So what you're going to do with your feet is you're going to work in between the toes. Okay, you can use your thumb for any of these, or your knuckles also. But here, just for demonstration here, so I'm just working all the way between your toes, coming up here, between each toe, and then on the outside I'm going to do like a zigzag, holding for, you can hold for 5 seconds on the feet because the feet are thinner, but 7 or 5, whatever works for you. And then just when you find a trigger point, even if it goes off of what I'm showing you or what's in the book, go ahead and sit on it for 7 seconds. Okay, the same thing back here on the outside where your pinky toe is, just do a zigzag, which I mean go forward and back on the edge of the foot, and you're going to find some trigger points. Then also on the front of the leg right here, here's this bone called the tibialis. You can just work right off of the bone. Just right between, like there's a crack between the bone and the muscle. And then go out into the meat of, then go all the way down the bone, and then go out into the meat of the muscle. So you just go right into the, and you'll find trigger points for sure, especially if you have any kind of feet pain or toe pain. Now our big toe is one muscle muscles that just go straight to the toe. So those are basic lines. If that doesn't work, there are clean out lines that work very well, but there's also preventative, because if you're wearing high heels, or if you're standing on cement, or if you're running on cement, or if you're a dancer, or if you have flat feet, etc., etc., etc. So there's a lot of things that you can do with myotherapy and with natural healing in general. So I hope that helped. And if you want more information at all, here is Laura Lee's mailbag at gmail.com. And there's myotherapyhealthcare.com. And P.O. Box 64, Avila Beach, California, 93424 will get you in the mailbag. So go ahead and check this out. And what the bottom line is we're doing here is removing trigger points. We're reinforcing with 4 to 6 sessions. And we're doing corrective movements. And then before you know it, your pain is either relieved or gone altogether. Because we want you to love life, and life will love you back here at myotherapyhealthcare.com. Because you can't be happy if you're in pain, so we want to help you help yourself. We'll see you on the next video. Please subscribe, and if you have any comments, and then join us on the mailbag. Bye-bye for now.